Now, I'm sure Susan loved my last video, so we're going to do another one, and probably a few more. Because at some point, Susan, you can't hide anymore. At some point, you're going to have to address this stuff. Here's Susan Garrett talking about when to get rid of treats or how to get rid of treats. Let's have a listen.
This is a really common question, almost a misconception about reinforcement-based dog training.
And again, reinforcement-based dog training does not work. And this is according to Skinner himself, the man she blames for the quadrants of dog training.
So many people want to know when they can wean their dog from
I can't wait to hear this.
the food. And first of all, food is one of many reinforcements that you can use.
Food is a primary inducement, not a positive reinforcement. What is an inducement? It's a piece of food that's used to bribe your dog to try to get them to do something. Okay? That's reality. You're not a positive reinforcement trainer. You're a primary inducement trainer under Conrad Moe. Stop lying, Susan.
To train your dog. And dogs, like all animals, seek reinforcement. And so if they don't find...
You're offering artificial reinforcements. The reinforcements are supposed to be positive and negative consequences of the experiences in the environment. That's operant conditioning.
Being around you to be very reinforcing, they are going to look.
You should be the most important thing in your dog's life. You're supposed to be the positive reinforcement in your dog's life, the main desire. Why is the environment so much more important than you are? That's the question that people need to ask. Why is your dog running away from you? Why doesn't your dog want to be with you? Because you're in a toxic fucking relationship. It's a transactional relationship of reward and punishment, not mutual trust and respect.
Look to the environment to reinforce them. So they're going to look to steal things from the counter or bark at the front window or chew up.
Why is the dog doing all these behaviors in the first place? The very object of the science of behaviors is understanding causes. Applied behavior analysis is not reward and punishment. Applied behavior analysis in reality is applying the understanding of the cause of behavior.
Furniture, chew up shoes. A lot of those.
Why is all this happening in the first place?
Things can also be anxiety related. But
what is anxiety? Anxiety is a bloody emotion, which is also an instinct that drives behaviors. As a result of fear, anxiety, anger, your default behaviors are going to be fight and flight, which is a cortisol and adrenaline response.
Dogs will seek reinforcement, just like people. If
they're looking for people look for validation. Dogs aren't looking for validation. That's the reality.
If a child isn't reinforced by their parent, they will act up.
So reinforcement, according to her, is reward, okay? And punishment. If everything the child does good gets a reward, you're going to create expectation. That's what dog training does. It creates expectation of reward. No treat, no trick. What operant conditioning actually does is create operant conditioning. So when dog owners are out in the environment and you're being told to watch the environment and you're scared in the environment, a dog shows up, all of a sudden you're going, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, this is what I do. What do I do now? This is anticipation as a result of your operant conditioning. Dog training creates expectation.
And as a way to get attention, aka reinforcement. So
yeah, they're doing for you for the piece of food. So when Susan talks about recall using food, you're giving the dog two choices. As a dog owner, you're only giving the dog two choices: have a piece of food or go to the environment. Where do you fit into that? What part of that relationship do you fit into?
All animals need reinforcing. Therefore,
this is the explanation. Now, you got to understand that Susan's been in this game a lot longer than I have. 15, 20 years ago, I watched as dog trainers like Susan Garrett turned around. They were saying, use the treat, train the dog, lose the treat. It was a tool of last resort. Okay? All of a sudden today, and as she's going to get into, it's an insurance policy. Always have a treat bag on your side just in case. If these things were training tools, they wouldn't need to be used for the rest of the dog's life. You wouldn't need it on the treat bag on your side for the rest of the dog's life. That's the reality. If they were training tools, they are not fucking training tools. They are tools of manipulation and control.
It's best if you consider how can you reinforce a dog. And food is one of many.
This is the failure in dog training. You're always looking to reinforce the dog. You're always trying to bribe the dog. You're always trying to punish the dog. And you're punishing the dog in ways you can't even understand. Punishment is the removal of positive reinforcement. Punishment attempts to remove behaviors from a repertoire. And all these people ever say is shut down behaviors, stop behaviors. This is suppression of behaviors. You're attempting to remove a behavior from a bloody repertoire. And by definition, what you're pushing as dog training and reinforcement is fucking punishment.
Many ways to do it. However, just because you use food in training doesn't mean you're going to get the same results as, say, somebody like me or one of my students who use.
Well, of course, nobody's as good as Susan Garrett. You're not going to get the same results. She's selling her time, not results. I do not use food. I do not use reward and punishment, period. And you want to see my dog run around a dog park? You want to see my dog in a pet store? Get on my YouTube channel and take a look. It's not necessary. This is a money-making scam. That's all it is. And Susan Garrett is part of Robert Cabral's pet care fucking conglomerate. Okay?
Uses food in training. It's like saying, well, Susan, you use a clicker and I use a
clicker. I love that term. If dog trainers were honest about what the clicker actually does, dog owners would be telling you to shove it up your ass. What does a clicker actually accomplish? You're turning behaviors into tricks. That's all you're doing. And I dare any trainer to come back and prove me wrong.
Clicker. Why are your dogs trained better than mine? Because food, toys.
You're constantly manipulating the dog with food. You're a primary inducement trainer by default, by definition. Susan, stop blaming Skinner. This scam needs to stop. It's killed enough fucking dogs already and it's destroying owners' lives. This is the reality. You're part of the fucking pet care conglomerate. This is why you're bellied up to IGP dog trainers. You're pushing Conrad most but blaming fucking Skinner.
Activities are all reinforcements for the dog. So I'm out here.
You see how she's struggling to get through all this? She's struggling to get through all this stuff. Listen to her. She's stumbling over her own words, trying to fucking come up with the lies.
Walking my dogs right now, and I'll just call them all in. Come here.
Susan, get rid of the treat bag altogether and show us your dogs in the environment. When you don't have food on you, when you have no way, you don't have that insurance policy, you show us your dog. I want to see any IGP trainer that's saying always leave the tool on your dog. Get rid of the frickin' tool. Get rid of all the tool of control. Get rid of the threat of punishment and get your dog out in the natural environment and see how well trained your dog is. They won't do it.
Sissy, come here. So I whistled. So they're all coming in. Man, they're all coming.
Yeah, they're all coming so quickly, right?
Coming in. Now their reinforcement.
They're expecting a treat, but they're not going to get one. Okay? At some point, when you don't have a treat, when you're not offering a treat, at some point, if you don't have a treat to offer them, they're not going to come to you. That's the reality. And you know it, Susan.
For coming to me is this. The chance for them to go and run now. Go play. So you can use activities that the dogs love as a reinforcement.
That's also called positive reinforcement. What is positive reinforcement? It's the animal's desires for all the good things in life and for to remain safe, to not fucking die. That's what your positive reinforcement is. That's operant conditioning. Positive reinforcement and operant conditioning under Skinner go hand in hand. Positive reinforcement, once again, is not what you consider positive reinforcement. You're pushing primary inducement under IGP dog training. When she says she's doing obedience, obedience is part of IGP dog training. What is IGP dog training? The sport of obedience, tracking, and protection. And that's exactly what you're doing because people don't understand IGP dog training. So you're trying to teach obedience. Your dog has got nose to the ground. As a result of all this garbage, dragging you down the street, sniffing, they're tracking. And now you got a protection dog because they're raging at the fucking world. That's the result of dog training.
So when you say, how can we wean off the food? Well, we wean off of we never wean off of all.
Here we go. Now that's an insurance policy. Listen to her talk about the insurance policy is just in case.
Reinforcements. We just grow the different reinforcements that the dog has. Reinforcement is what we all are driving for. And
can you imagine raising a child, once again, where they get rewarded for every goddamn good thing they do? Because you're going to create the expectation of reward. And again, operant conditioning is about anticipation. Treat training itself creates expectation. And at some point, if there's no friggin' reward, you're not going to get the trick, are you?
Life. And so does that mean you always have to carry a pocket of cookies? Well, I often do.
Yeah, you often do, just in case, right? Just in case. Get rid of the friggin' cookies for a week or two and show us your dog.
But I like on a walk like this, I'll probably not even
use them, but they're there just in case, right?
Use any. I always have cookies on me. Boom.
Of course, you always have a treat on you. You always get that reinforcement. You have to keep the treat on you because the system isn't working. The system of reinforcement isn't working. So you're constantly using reward to try to bribe your dog. I don't need to. I don't use reward and punishment. I've never used a treat. I've never used a friggin' aversive tool. I don't use prongs and e-colors. They're not necessary when you understand what a relationship is supposed to be. They're telling you to create a transactional relationship of reward and punishment, of food and freaking punishment. I don't need that. I trust my dog. I respect my dog, and because of it, I'm confident in my dog. My dog trusts me. I've earned it. I've earned his respect, and I've earned his confidence. That's a proper relationship. What they're doing is putting you into a transactional relationship, which is actually toxic. It's a trauma bonded relationship. And people are wondering why this shit doesn't work. But then you have to hire a trainer because you can't do it on your own. Understand, ladies and gentlemen, you are the only one that can fix your toxic relationship. But you need to understand that you're in a toxic relationship.
Something amazing your dog's doing? Yeah, there's a hair elastic as well. But if you want to learn more about reinforcement, jump on our current season of Nuance. This is
Have a good day.